Down the Chimney with a Shotgun is a horror Christmas anthology movie that tells several Christmas fairy tales. Things like Krampus, the Christmas Witch, and even Christmas Hell. Made by Legend Hunter Films, the same group that did the Mountain Devil series, it has the same kind of feel and actors as those movies. And for being low budget, there's a lot to like about Mountain Devil. So, let's see if Down the Chimney with a Shotgun can capture the darker side of the holiday. First, we learn that a patient from a local insane asylum has escaped wearing a Santa suit. He's considered armed and very dangerous. Well, this chick finds that out the hard way. It turns out that Santa, who really sounds a lot like Beetlejuice here,
just another crazy guy in a Santa Claus suit. It's showtime.
He doesn't want to hurt her or anything. All he wants to do is tell her scary Christmas stories, starting off with the Christmas boogeyman. Hans Trapp was a rich, powerful man who lived in the 1400s. People say that he got his wealth from worshiping the devil. When the church found out about Hans, they excommunicated him and took all his money. Left alone in a cabin in Germany, Hans grew mad and only thought about getting revenge. And he also developed an appetite for human flesh. Legend says that he would dress up like a scarecrow and hide out in the fields, waiting for the perfect victim. Now, we see this story acted out. Some deadbeat husband is bossing his wife around, and she comes up with a plan to take him out for good. Honestly, he really deserves it the way he talks to her. Well, maybe not beaten in with a hammer, but at least a divorce. But this girl's had enough, and a divorce just won't cut it. She gets all dolled up like they're gonna bang one out, gets this guy all excited, and then, yeah, it's hammer time.
Stop! Hammer time!
She takes him outside to a cornfield, and I guess she's gonna bury him. Then a scarecrow comes out and tries to get her. She trips, falls, and Hans gets her in glorious slow-mo.
Christmas holds its own courts.
Back to the insane Santa, who moves on to the story of Christmas H-E double hockey sticks. This is probably my favorite of all the stories. The husband from the previous tale wakes up in Christmas hell. Looks pretty creepy down here, and as he walks around exploring everything, it reminds me of going through a haunted house. He picks up a hammer to defend himself from whatever's down there, and his ghost comes to tell him that his wife killed him with that very same hammer. And now he's stuck down here forever. He does eventually find an exit and heads outside, only to find his tombstone. He runs out into the road and gets pulverized by a truck. And then he wakes back up in Christmas hell. The next story is Santa's Little Scalper. Here we learn of a special Christmas doll that would be given to children who needed a little extra attention. Made from the souls of elves looking to do harm. Here we see a full-grown adult has the doll, so I guess it's not only children. We learn that this guy has problems socializing with other people, so he bought this super creepy looking doll to help him practice. He sits down on the couch and talks to the doll, and it does talk back, but I'm not really sure if that's the spirit of an elf or just this guy's subconscious. He gets up, looks out the window, and sees his crush walking by. He fantasizes about her, but knows deep down that he'll never work up the courage to talk to her. The doll tries to get him to face his fear, and when that doesn't work, he lists off different hobbies, each one the guy turning down, until he mentions building something. He says he is really good with his hands.
I am pretty good with my hands.
Next, we see he lies down some drop cloth, and yeah, you see where this is going. He's good with his hands all right. So good that he can reassemble his crush to be with him forever. Or at least until she rots. Finally on to Krampus, the Christmas devil. I think most people have at least heard of Krampus at this point, a horned devil that scares misbehaved children. It's said that he works with Saint Nick. While Saint Nick rewards the good kids, Krampus punishes the bad. He's wrapped in chains, binding him to the devil himself. He also carries a bunch of birch branches to swat at children. He even has a special bag on his back. But unlike Santa's, this bag eats children alive. And that's it for Krampus. No dramatic reenactment or anything. Yet. The Christmas Witch. Frau Perchta is the name of the Christmas Witch, who hands out both rewards and punishment during the 12 days of Christmas. If you don't have the spirit of Christmas in you, then she'll rip out your organs and cook you alive. Man, pretty harsh treatment for just not feeling jolly this time of year. She flies around on a broom with a little creature attached to it and has evil elves and unbaptized babies as minions. If you're good, you get a silver coin. But if you forget to leave out porridge for her, then she'll slit you open, take everything out, and stuff you with straw and rocks. Man, I'm sorry, I won't forget your dang porridge. Now we see a guy going to a bed and breakfast. Little does he know it's run by the Christmas Witch. She, of course, welcomes him with open arms and shows him to his room. He settles in and then goes downstairs for some cookies and milk. While down there, the witch brings up how proud of her cookie recipe she is and starts naming off the ingredients. The guy says he doesn't really celebrate Christmas. Uh-oh. She goes to get more cookies, and we see her true self come out in the kitchen. At this point, the guy's starting to get a bit uncomfortable. The witch goes on about how her father was a bad man, and her mother didn't want her to find him, but she found every last jar. Okay, dude, that's your cue to get the heck out of here. He stands up, and a bell starts ringing, but it's not moving. The witch informs him it only rings when someone doesn't have the spirit of Christmas in them, and the spell is never wrong. The guy goes to bed, and the witch follows him, still rambling on about the ingredients in her cookies. Eventually, the guy falls asleep, but when he wakes, he's tied up, and the witch is ready to use him as the secret ingredient.
The Christmas bell tells no lies. It knows bad souls.
The last story, before the grand finale, is the Butcher's List. There's not really much to this one. Basically, a butcher and his wife captured 3 boys, robbed them, and put them in a stew. Saint Nick heard about this and resurrected the children. The evil butcher repented and was forced to work alongside Saint Nick, kind of like Krampus. While Saint Nick rewarded the good, the butcher punished the bad. For the live action segment, we see a butcher cutting up body parts. A girl hangs from the ceiling, providing some fresh meat. While he's not looking, she's able to escape to try to find something to fight the butcher with. The only thing she can get her hands on is a grenade. I guess that would do the trick. Back to the insane Santa, who at this point keeps hearing things outside. Sure enough, Krampus is there to punish the bad. The guy lets the girl go, and he takes off into the woods. Krampus getting to her first, an easy target and a good fit for his flesh-eating bag. Back to the lunatic, who fires off a couple of shots at the beast, like it'll do anything. His last hope is a point-blank shotgun blast right to the head. And that was Down the Chimney with a Shotgun, a group of Christmas cautionary tales, which basically all equate to be a good kid. After watching this, am I in the Christmas spirit? Well, no, not really. I mostly am just terrified that I didn't leave a bowl of porridge out for the Christmas witch. I did like the animated segments that told all the various tales. They're well done and a real highlight of the movie. The live action scenes were just fine and a little drawn out at times. Do I think Down the Chimney with a Shotgun is going to replace Christmas classics like A Grinch or A Christmas Story? No, but I don't think that was their goal here. This movie is for sick freaks like me who like to watch horror movies alone in a dark room, while everyone else is opening presents and eating cookies. I give Down the Chimney with a Shotgun 2 Christmas cookie recipes out of 4.
You can use shortening, but for the smoothest, flakiest cookie, you want lard. 1 cup of melted and cooled only slightly.
Very good. Good night.
My father was a large, fat man. He used to play Santa.
I will see you in the morning. Good night.